but they had played a lot of football. Their focus was on production and performance and experience and age. So what we'll need to see with LSU is, can you combine and somehow try to come up with the correct recipe of high-end elite players that you're right on and that perform to the level of the money they're getting paid, and then the rest of the guys on that roster have to be significant contributors. They may not be your highest earners, but they've got to be players that perform at a high level, perform consistently. You'd like them to be older. If you brought them in from the portal, you'd like them to be guys that have played a lot of football, and see if you can come up with that magic recipe.
Tom Luganbill on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Did that number surprise? You're hearing more about that. Hey, we're going to focus. You got to have depth, but you got to have frontline players. You're hearing more people say that the focus is on that 30 to 40 players. You know, and this whole filling out the 105-man roster, I mean, what are we talking about? Does anybody – I mean, what is player number 80, 90, 95 going to do? I just think, first of all, there's a finite amount of talent. You know that by running ESPN's college football recruiting. And, I mean, I'm not even – Saban and Kirby and some of the others, Urban at Ohio State during that last era could go too deep, maybe three. I think that was probably overplayed too, but definitely too deep for years. You know, what are you, even as the Blue Bloods, what player are you really going to get at number 60 player, number 70 player, number 80 player, Luke's?
Well, you're exactly right, because number one, you know, it used to be identify, evaluate, recruit, and develop, okay? Now it's identify, evaluate, recruit, and retain. So when you're looking at player 81 through 105, okay, those players are now going to more than likely be out of the high school rank. They're going to be young. They're going to be inexperienced. And so you ask the question, will they even be there a year from now? Will they even be there 2 years from now? That group of 20 to 25 to 30 players on every roster now is probably going to be a revolving door of young players coming in and young players coming out. And unless that player is playing early and he's performing early, you're going to get practice depth out of them. You're going to get scout team reps out of them. You're going to have special teams reps out of them. And so, you know, I think people are going to become more the same with their rosters than they are going to be different with that group of players across the board. Because if you're going out in the portal and you're bringing in experience and you're bringing in frontline guys and you're bringing in guys to start, what is the role of those other guys? Unless they are so talented and they just beat everybody else out, or they're so ready out of high school to play right away and help you, they're going to be reserve players. And how hard is it to keep reserve players? It's almost impossible.
Tom Luganbill on the Out of Bounds Show and the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. That jumped out at me. Billy Glasscock.
Well,
wow.
Yeah.
27
Let
player.
me add one thing to that too.
Okay.
And, you know, Brent Key was at the podium at Georgia Tech this past week, and he was talking about, he got asked a really good question. And the question was, you know, what does it feel like to end spring football and tomorrow not have to have a meeting with every player on the team and try to convince them to stay? Because now we don't have the second period, right? So those young players that we were just talking about, that at this point a year ago or 5 years ago could leave at the end of spring football, they just got 15 days where you probably tried to get them a ton of work, develop them, figure out what you're going to have, and now you know you're going to have them in the fall. Like that is a huge, huge difference from anything we've experienced over the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
For every coaching staff in America. So now you might get a little more out of those younger guys. You might get a little more of that bottom 30 on your roster because you know they can't go anywhere. So that kid's either going to compete and he's going to battle and he's going to try to fight his way up the ladder, or he's going to be reserve scout team guy for you. But he can't leave your program right now. I think that's a good thing for everybody.
Tom Luganbill on the Out of Bounds Show. All right, let's go to, you know, Clemson and LSU will be hyped like crazy all summer. It'll be fun for me, you, and everybody in the game. And can you talk about the contrasting styles? So we've talked to you, and we're going to continue to, about Lane and what he did starting 5 years ago and the path that Dabo decided to take. And I've read your articles on ESPN. We've been looking at the draft stuff. Boy, Clemson wasted some talent, Tom Luganbill.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
So I think the storyline for the biggest game on the first weekend, or one of, with Clemson at LSU, is the fact that Dabo was so defiant early. He's adjusted a little bit. And I don't like it. I don't like what it stands for. I don't want to pay player, And Lane immediately went, I think it took him about 30 seconds. He said, we're all in, we'll do this, and we're going to totally change our model, and we're going all in on a new scouting department. Now, no, but seriously, look, can you imagine if Dabo gets smoked game one? What because they're so polar opposite the last 4 to 5 years as far as Lane and Dabo and their approach?
Well, listen, it won't be good. I can tell you that right now. And, when you had the type of roster that was coming back in 2025 that Clemson had, and on paper, without question, it was the most talented, experienced roster at just about every position in college football in terms of known commodities, right? Because it's hard to forecast teams now. When you got a 30, 40, 50-player turnover, you can sit there and talk all you want about what you think the program's going to be. Nobody knows.
True.
Because you don't know how everybody's going to fit, who's going to get hurt, if they pick the wrong guys like I talked about, if they paid the wrong guys. You don't know. And so I think that, the expectation for Clemson this year is as high as it was last year because they're expecting a recovery. And they're going into that matchup with a quarterback in Chris Pezzina, who has played just a little bit of football as a reserve this season, chose not to go into the portal and upgrade the quarterback position. And LSU's going into the matchup with Sam Levitt. And so, if you'd have asked me 3, 4, 5 years ago, and we've seen this LSU-Clemson matchup before, you would sit there and you would say, boy, that is really evenly matched across the board. They got very similar players across the board, quarterback play across the board. Now you look at those two teams, and you would say, I think, at least on paper, LSU's got a distinct advantage. But LSU, keep in mind, when Lane Kiffin was hired there and the staff was brought on there, like, that's not a let's see what we can do 2 years from now. That was a hire that is expecting to play for a national championship now, like right now. So they had to go out. They weren't going to have the luxury of building it through the high school ranks. They had to go out and build that roster almost overnight to try to compete with the expectation that they've got on their shoulders.
Right.
Where Clemson's going to go into that game where they feel like the core of their roster that they identified, evaluated, recruited, and developed is back outside of NFL departures and guys that have departed or have graduated. So they feel like familiarity and comfort and knowledge of the roster, instead of having to build something over the span of 6 to 8 months, that may be a benefit for them. I don't know if it will be. I think Clemson's talented. I think their roster is talented. I don't think they're the Clemson of 5 years ago, and I don't think that they have the talent in terms of the starters across the board that LSU is looking at starting the season with right now.
Ooh, Tom Luganbill, national college football analyst with ESPN. Clemson at LSU. We know Dabo had a semi-meltdown challenging the fan base, whatever it was, midway through the season. And, it didn't play out the right way. We've read what Luganbill and others have written about on ESPN.com. And you got a lot of Clemson dudes that are going to go in the first couple rounds of the NFL draft. Okay. So today on paper, even though everything will be new at LSU, and some will be new at Clemson, just like everybody's got some new every year.
Yeah.
But everything is, Baker and all them. Okay, a lot of what LSU is doing is new. How about that?
Yeah.
LSU's roster is how much better than Clemson's? And I know it's damn near impossible to handicap this day and age, like you just said. But give me an idea of what you think. with what Lane did and what Dabo's done?
Well, I think right now they're clearly better at quarterback because they're established, right? So you're gonna have a huge leg up in an opening game like that, in that type of environment with a quarterback that's played a lot of football in Sam Levitt. The Clemson receiving core, for the most part, largely returns intact, whereas just about everybody in the 2 deep, Jace Brown, Jackson Harris, Winston Watkins, Malik Elzy, Trey Brown, Eugene Wilson III, they're all transfers. They're all incoming guys for LSU. So a lot of new faces there. The defensive side of the football for LSU, though, and, I should mention Jordan Seaton at left tackle because, obviously he was a huge pickup coming over from Colorado. Was the number 1 ranked offensive tackle coming out of high school, 2-year starter at Colorado. That's a huge pickup. And Clemson's losing one of their best players in Blake Miller at tackle, who started 54 games. So I think you're going to probably give LSU the edge there. Defensively, LSU is mostly intact with players that Lane Kiffin inherited. Prince Williamanian, he comes over in the transfer portal. Malik Blockton, Jordan Ross along the defensive front. But the linebacking core in the secondary, for the vast majority of their 2 deep across the board, those are returning players for LSU. I think that's really smart. And I think Blake Baker had probably a pretty significant say in probably, relaying to Lane Kiffin, hey, listen, this is who we have to keep here. We don't need to replace this guy. We don't need to add depth here. And then these are the spots where we do. And that's probably how they built that thing. But I just think there's certain positions across the board. I love Chris Johnson at running back for Clemson, who came over in the transfer portal from SMU. But I don't know if they have a 2 deep of Caden Durham and Harlem Berry like LSU does.
Okay.
And I think that's probably a slight edge offensively as well, aside from quarterback.
All right, let's go to Alabama, Luke's. With Kalen DeBoer, does Alabama have an identity problem? And it was probably going to happen regardless of who they hired because Nick Saban left, and at the time with all the disruption with the portal and NIL. But I get the sense that people are trying to figure out exactly who and what Alabama is under Kalen. Is that fair or unfair going into year 3?
I think it's unfair. I don't think they have an identity problem. I just think that they didn't play very well in the offensive line a year ago, and they couldn't run the football. It wasn't as if they didn't want to run the football. It's not as if their identity problem is that they've got a coach that refuses to run the football. That's not the case at all. I just don't think they were very good in the offensive line. I think they underwhelmed in the offensive line the same way that Clemson underwhelmed in the defensive line. They didn't play well enough in that area and still made the college football playoffs, still won a playoff game, and couldn't run the ball, and everybody in the stadium knew it, including the other team, and were still good enough to beat people. I to be honest with you, whether it's Austin Mack at quarterback or Keelan Russell, I still think that they're going to be a really good football team. I really do. I think Alabama, and the good news for Alabama right now, in my opinion, is all of the offseason talk and all of the discussion is on what is Auburn going to be now? All right, what is LSU going to be now? A lot of hype around Texas, okay? How is Ole Miss going to be under Pete Golding? People aren't paying as much attention, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen in terms of scrutiny, to Alabama as maybe we've seen before, and maybe that allows them the opportunity to kind of fly under the radar. I mean, you look at them on defense, they only needed one transfer. That's Kedrick Bailey-Jones at the defensive tackle spot. Everybody else in their starting unit is a returning player that played on that team a year ago. And they were going to be really good. I don't think they have an identity problem now. They may have a talent and coaching question mark in the offensive line if they can't return to form and they go through 2 years of this in a row. Now I think you have a different discussion. Number one, are they not very talented? And number two, do they need to make a shift in their offensive staff to maybe create a spark? But that still remains to be seen.
Okay. And they made a move on the offensive line and they have a new offensive line coach. We'll see how that, the Begley Jones thing. He played like 600 snaps at Mississippi State and never got a sack.
Yep.
Now look, Coleman Hutzler had no business being a defensive coordinator in the SEC at the Power 4 level. So, it's weird. My Alabama Crimson Tide media are telling me that he's going to be in the 2 deep, and he did not look like a good football player at Mississippi State. So I don't know to run that scheme development in Starkville. Alabama figured out exactly what he is because the offensive lineman from Mississippi State, James, who transferred, they moved a freshman All-American, Luke's, from right tackle to right guard, and it looks like James is going to start at Alabama from Mississippi State. And I thought he was solid at best at MSU, and they're going to move a freshman All-American to right guard, and he's starting at right tackle right now. What does that tell me, Tom Luganville, on both guys?
Well, it tells you that I like the young guy better, right? But the guy James has played, right? And you just mentioned Bigley Jones. He's played. I think there's value in that. Redshirt senior, redshirt junior. It's kind of the Kurt Signetti Indiana recipe.
Yeah.
With Bigley Jones, you're a defensive tackle. I don't think you necessarily expect a ton of sack production from the inside there. Listen, let's call it what it is. This is a completely retooled offensive line for Alabama. Completely retooled. You're going to have Jackson Lloyd, who's really the only person that's firmly been named a starter. Michael Carroll might be starting at the other spot. Mason Dugatti, Javon James, Nick Brooks. This is. I don't think anybody truly knows what Alabama is going to be in the offensive line, just because you got one starter returning and everybody else is still battling for jobs, even coming out of spring football.
I got about a minute and a half. How would you describe Keelan Russell stylistically as a quarterback if he gets the nod, which my guys are telling me he will at the end of the day?
Yeah. Very similar to Jaden Daniels. Very similar. I would say coming out of high school, Keelan Russell was more mature, a little more advanced in terms of theory of the game, working at that part of it. In two different situations. Jaden came out of high school and was expected to immediately start for Arizona State, and he did. Keelan didn't have to do that, which I think was really good for him. Got to play a little bit, a couple of spot duty opportunities, just to buckle the chin strap. But man, he's talented, and I think they've got two good options at quarterback. But that guy, he's so smart, and he really cares about the game. Uber talented. One of my favorite if you were to say over the last 10 years, and you would say, okay, Lugs, give us a handful of quarterbacks that when they came out, you were like, that guy's going to make it. He might have been the top of the list.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barring injury or some unforeseen circumstance that we don't know, he had all of the stuff that you got to have to be a really good player at that position. And so I think his failure rate is really low. Really low.
And for our listeners, Alabama should start off 5-0. So it gives him a little bit of a soft landing if he is the starter over Austin Mack. Somebody said he runs like Lamar Jackson. I got 20 seconds. Somebody said he runs like Lamar Jackson. Your reaction?
I think that's a little bit of hyperbole.
That's what I thought.
I wouldn't say he's in that league.
I love it when people go to a spring game and get a little. But that's what it's all about. The fandom drives our business.
The spring game is literally the least important practice of the 15 days. Coaches, just get through it. Here's the head coach. Here's the head coach of the staff. Simple on offense, simple on defense. Get through it. Don't get anybody injured, and let's go home.
I love it. Hey, next week, if you have time, I want to talk Garrett Nussmeier. Now it's official that he was hurt. You talked about it last year. I want to see how that looks as far as him making an NFL roster. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate you.
Okay. All right, buddy.
Back in a second.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Al Warner.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
The drops are not potted up either.
It looks so fresh.
All right, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. And we're powered by Superior Foundation. And Todd Sandrich, he's live in the Bank Plus studio today. They've become a name across the Jackson metro area for foundation repairs. Drainage solutions, driveways, both commercial and residential, and several other things. But existing and new foundations powered by Superior Foundation and Superior.ms. And Todd's group has also bought Livingston, the development, which is super cool out there with Martin's in Livingston, Martin's Market, and everything else that they have going out there. Todd will share some other stuff as far as what they did on Friday and the vision and where they're going. But Todd Sandrich, welcome back in studio. How are you?
Thank you. Good to be here. I love being here in the mornings.
Well, how's your family?
Family is great. We are doing all things senior right now for one of ours, and we're doing a lot of baseball with the other one, and just we're passing that parenting mark with the oldest, and we're kind of getting in that friendship zone. It's been pretty awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, you're about to be there.
Yeah, I got to, like you
get one out, and then
L Hall's done in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then Wilkes is a junior.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting dynamic as a parent. Once they cross that threshold, they're kind of on their own. They're making their own money. They still need you a little bit, which is good.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's fun to watch them grow up. And I got one about to go to college, and looking forward to that, and all the stuff that goes along with college athletics. And then still got Kane here playing baseball and football. So yeah, they're baby adults. That's what Wendy says. That's exactly right.
But we don't, it's great, but we don't cut the cord like our parents did.
Could they survive without us? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah. Could they survive the way we want them to? No, and that's why we can't cut the cord. Maybe. I don't know. Right. I've done a pretty good job with Isabel cutting the cord, but she does call a lot and say, "Dad, what do I do?"
Absolutely. Well, that's great, man. All right, so Superior Foundation.
Yeah.
How long has it been since you and Trey Pace started Superior Foundation? Because you started Crosstown 22 years ago.
22. I was in business for myself 27 years ago. Trey was too. We kind of partnered in Crosstown. Okay. 12 years ago, March actually, was last month was when we started Superior Foundation for a number of reasons. Obviously, the biggest thing was finding somebody in the local area that had integrity to do what we wanted them to do. And when we couldn't find that, we couldn't find somebody that didn't have multiple products, things, because it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
And it kind of got our wheels turning there for a couple of years. And then at the end of the day, we said, you know what, we've poured more foundations than any of these guys ever thought about doing. We know what we're doing. We went out and found the right products. And then, 12 years later, thank God we are number one in the market. And the cool thing is, I think, and I know this, the way we train people and the way we do that is we are the local company. You've got big national brands moving in right now. A new one just moved in. Of course, you've got some of the older national brands that are here. The problem is their turnover. Every 6 months they got a new general manager. They got a bunch of new guys. And the key to this business is really what your warranty is, and that's something we hold dear, is the integrity in the business and what we do, and that is we're not going to run away from you. We're going to see you at the ball field.
Right.
We're going to see you at church. We're going to see you, at the grocery store, and we're not running away from those warranties. And I think that's the biggest thing that people need to think about. But, we've had such a blessing this year. I mean, I was looking with my guys the other day, and we're, pretty much booked through June now. And that's crazy in our business, to be honest, because we've got a huge crew. We can do a lot in one day. Right. And to be, booked through, and that's a big deal. And so it says a lot for our people and how we do it.
Superior.ms, Superior Foundation, Todd Sandridge on the Out of Bounds Show. You also do, these all tie in.
Yeah.
Okay, so existing foundation.
Yes.
Plus new.
That's right.
French drains.
Yep. Big part of our business.
Big. You've talked about that. Yeah. Plus, I know tons of people who've used you and Trey.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Talk about that. French drains is kind of important because it ties into the whole.
Yeah. You really want to start there, and you don't want. Nobody wants foundation problems.
Right.
Man, they don't. And so that's kind of the preventative maintenance aspect of that. And it's funny. One of the reasons we are so busy right now is in the last 2 or 3 years, man, we've had a drought for 4 or 5 months. And when's the last time we've had any significant rain? We're all sports fans here, and we're all looking at them. I'm going to a sports game just about every night, and haven't had any.
Right.
No rainouts. Well, that can affect our clay negatively, shrinks, everything falls, stuff like that. So, but it will rain, Bo, and that's the problem is when it does, then that affects everything. And the reason stuff moves because of the weather clay is because of the water. And we do encounter it times, and we have relationships with local plumbers. We test their sewer and their water and things like that, and that's a big deal. But, at the end of the day, when you go into a job, the first thing we want to do is why this failed.
Right.
And that's a big start there, so.
And then driveways.
Yeah. So we do a lot of tear outs.
Both commercial and residential.
We do commercial. We do parking lots. We do commercial buildings. We do, homes. We're so scattered out right now. We're doing 3 different apartment complexes and just signed one yesterday, I believe, in Brandon. We've got to fix and repair. So,
okay.
We're doing a good bit of both commercial and residential. And, I think the biggest thing is probably the droughts we've had lately, and you're seeing a lot of stuff fall. And it'll make that flat work, like driveways and parking lots fail too. So we're doing a lot of that, tearing them up and putting them back.
Parking lots, banks.
Yeah, we've done banks. Of course, we got to do them on the weekends and
and fast food and all that stuff.
We've done it all. We've done hotels. We've done.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and some of it is really cool. Some of the work we're doing right now, we're for a group out of Arizona, and they've got this contract on all these older apartment complexes in West Jackson, and you wouldn't believe, but 2 of them are on conventional foundations, which that means raised, right?
Wow.
So that's rare. That's rare in this market to having a conventional foundation, but they were built back in the 50s, and so getting up under there, we found quite a few artifacts,
Todd Sandridge, Superior Foundation, Superior.ms, obviously existing and new foundations, and French drains and parking lots and driveways powered by Superior.ms. How about this baseball in the state of Mississippi?
Man, I'm excited. This has been, to me, the best baseball year, we've had. I think from high school, there's a lot of parity in high school baseball. Nobody's really dominating. My son plays in the MAIS and on a rebuilding, young team, but there's still parity there. They could still win. You look at junior college baseball, we've got 3 of the top 5 in the country.
Absolute
in junior
dogs.
College. In junior college.
I know.
And I realize that California has their own system, but still, that is a big deal for Mississippi. Then you look at Southern Miss, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State, all in the top 25. Man, what a fun. That's if I'm not at a baseball game, I'm watching a baseball game right now.
Your son's playing high school baseball, so you are in the heat of the battle.
In the thick of it. We're in district right now. Yeah. So everybody is. It's fun.
All right. So I want to talk living. We're going to take a break. You got time?
Got a minute. Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about Livingston, y'all buying it.
Good. We're excited about it.
And then kind of what phase 1 is and phase 2 could be too in the concert that y'all had on Friday night. Todd Sandridge, Superior Foundation, and Livingston on the Out of Bounds Show, Superior.ms. All right, good morning. Welcome in. Todd Sandridge with Superior Foundation on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app and thezone1059.com. Foundation repairs, existing and new. French drains, driveways, parking lots, powered by Superior.ms. They're local and their work comes with a warranty. Sun Devil Macy is on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line, and this is what he sent us. I represent homeowners in foundation repair cases. The nationwide companies are a nightmare.
Yeah.
Todd?
Every time, and I think it's because they don't answer the phone. You know, they don't honor their warranty, and it's crazy how you would run from that because, you know, they kill us in marketing dollars, right? I mean, you know, their search engine optimization is you know, nationwide, it's so much better and all those things. But at the end of the day, you know, it's pretty easy to walk into a living room and somebody understand that you know what you're talking about, you're going to honor your warranty and be who you are, or you're just working for a big nationwide company.
Right.
You know, and so I think people do.
And then they
have
get
that.
transferred in 3 months to another market.
Yeah. And they're gone or they get another job and things like that. And man, this is our life. This
Right.
is what we do. This is how we feed our kids, you know.
Look,
so it's a big difference.
You and Trey have lived here your whole life.
All of our life, you know, and that matters. The people that we hire are the same way.
Yeah.
And from the people that answer the phones to the people that are actually digging and putting in piers. And we're all family. You know?
Let me see if I say this name right.
Yep.
Helicals.
Helicals. That's it. So Helicals.
This is Todd's like 6th time on the show. It's the first time I've ever gotten it right.
It's it's a neat concept. I mean, it really is a good technology, and that is we do a lot of it for preventative maintenance. Sometimes we do it for stabilization. We're doing one right now out at Lake Caroline for that.
I bet.
Because it's on the water, you get a lot of hydraulic pressure.
You did it for my boathouse.
Yeah, we put it in your boathouse before we poured the slab, so that goes down. And the reason we did that is because you are on the water, and there's a lot of pressure there. We do it, and we'll angle them to keep things from sliding. You know, we've got them in probably 3/4 of the houses in Lost Rabbit.
Makes
other
sense.
places on the reservoir, a lot of places on the water, things like that. It's really an innovative technology that's gotten affordable. You know, I can tell you right now, Bo, I would not build another thing in this town unless it had helicals under it. That's
Okay.
how much work we do on foundation.
And you have
repair.
30 years of construction experience.
Yeah, and I can tell you that you could take that to make. I wouldn't build a swimming pool without them under it, and we do a
Okay.
lot under swimming pools. It's only because it's a not when that weather, Clay, you cannot predict because you can't predict the weather. So if it gets wet, it's going to swell, and anything that swells is bad, right? So
Okay.
when it gets dry, like it has been lately, we're shrinking. You've got a big, heavy structure. It's going to fall. And if a swimming pool or a home, either one, they get off 4 to 6 inches, that's a bad deal, man. Bad deal.
Todd Sandridge, Superior Foundation, Superior.ms. He and Trey Pace doing a great job. Call them today, Superior.ms, Superior.ms. What is this?
So we got to highlight that, right?
Oh,
I do
should
love
we
the man
trust?
as a pitcher, but no.
Oh, I love that. Should we trust Nolan Ryan? His commercials were pretty good. We trust him as a pitcher.
I would put him in all day, every day
No
as a
doubt.
pitching coach, but the product he sells, no.
Okay, boom. All right, let's talk the town of Livingston.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite spots.
Yes.
And it is an absolutely beautiful piece of property. And you and your team bought it.
Yep.
And y'all just threw a concert out there, the Molly Ringwalds.
We did.
Joseph told me y'all had over 600 people in
Yes.
your first
Yes.
concert.
Yes.
It's absolutely beautiful. Wendy and I went out there on Saturday or Sunday and saw it. Joseph chose the whole thing. But all right, let's talk about phase one.
Yep.
What you and your team want to do as far as phase one of the town of Livingston, where 22 and 463 meet.
So the first week of May, we'll go to the meeting at the county and hopefully get approved for phase one, and that is going to include from the commercial side. That'll be 4 more commercial buildings, and we are really. It's important to us. I know you'll love this, Bo, because you're a foodie, and that is we're going to get more food out there, right? We want it to become a restaurant destination and an entertainment, and for family, and we want it to be family friendly, all of that. So that's important to us. We have no space to lease right now. I get calls every day, and we just don't have anything
Bet
to
you
lease
do.
them. So that's important. We want to, all kind of food out there. We want boutiques. We want hair salons for the ladies. We've got, Noble Barbers out there. Landis Noble runs an awesome operation, but he doesn't do the ladies. So we're going, put something out there for them. We want a spa type atmosphere. We're going to do 20. We're going to start with 28 of the residential cottages.
Nice.
And it's going to be exciting. We've got being in this industry so long, I've got a ton of real estate friends, and they've all, called and texted and saying, hey, when they're going to be ready. And as soon as this meeting's over with and we have something to sell, I really do think they'll be gone pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's a product that people want. Both young professionals I've been called about. I've also been called about, empty nesters and in between too. So the idea of a PUD like that, a community, driven by, residential, retail,
Green space, amphitheater.
Green space. And then we're getting to the entertainment side of things. And that's something that kind of came up as we were looking at it. And you had this land down at the bottom of the lake, and there's a bowl where the dam is. And we were looking at it, and I just, I was telling my partner, I was like, man, we can't really do anything with it. It's kind of, low land. It's floodplain, right? But if we could create this, an amphitheater, and I say that in air quotes, guys, we're not pouring slabs. We're not putting in seats. We're bringing out chairs and blankets, and we're having a good time out there. And so the vision, it was fun to see that Friday night come to life. And Joseph Stodgel at Martin's partnered with Trey and I on that. And he's such a, he's very good at that, man. He's got a great staff, and I can't say enough about those folks. But the vision itself was pretty fun to see that come from looking at a topo map and then walking down there and then clearing all that with a bulldozer and grading it and then putting grass out there to actually seeing the Molly Ringwalds up there and 600
That's
plus people.
Awesome.
Having a good time.
Yeah. The stage looked really, really cool.
It was a fun atmosphere, fun event. We had VIP. We've got 3 more shows coming up.
Good.
Mustache Band's coming up in a couple of weeks.
That will rock.
I can't tell you how many people called me about that. That one's going to be fun. So get your tickets early. And I will tell you this, in the way that we kind of put it together, get your VIP tickets. It's a lot more fun, air conditioned bathrooms, and
right.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah. So it's got a Mississippi rustic feel, the amphitheater with the cool factor.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned all the commercial you're going to do in the 28 cottage homes.
Yeah, so we'll end up having 74.
You're going to get smoked with empty nesters and retirees.
Yeah, and we already have, so there'll be 74 of those total. And I don't know, both we'll do 3 phases of those residential. We may just go from 28 to go ahead and finish it out, depending on what the demand is.
Okay,
yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, man, we're super excited. I mean, and not only that, it was a good vision from the original developers. It was a good vision. Obviously, everybody knows there were some issues there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the vision was good.
Right.
And I give them props for that. We've tweaked a few things, but you know what? We're carrying that through. There's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
Like you said, it is without a doubt the most beautiful piece of land in Madison County, and one of them in Mississippi. And I've been, everywhere like you in Mississippi.
Sure.
I love the way it looks out there, everything. And then the design, all of that is, from their vision to, maybe a few tweaks on our part and doing some things like the amphitheater and getting, the community out there, because that's what we want.
Sure.
I mean, that if you could define it in one word, it'd be community. And
well, it's going to turn into a golf cart community, which is going to be super cool.
Yeah. And we're
with everything you need.
Yeah, you got
culinary, music, a market, the whole thing.
You've got a nice bar out there. You've got, and there'll be so much more. You've got Chestnut Hill, which is neighborhood just next to it.
Right
We're going to have a golf cart path for them. They're already rolling through there, and a lot of them were having a good time Friday night over at the Molly Ringwalds.
Todd Sandridge, Town of Livingston and Superior Foundation. Keep an eye on the news, like Todd said, over the next 4 weeks about what the next phase 1 of the Town of Livingston. And if you need anything as far as foundation repair, existing or new, or French drains, parking lots or driveways, powered by Superior.ms. Call Todd Sandridge and Trey Pace today. Todd, we'll do this again soon.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Appreciate
buddy.
it, guys.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Oh, look at that. Every single one of those is just coated perfectly. It looks so fresh. Wow.
We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. Flying blind a little bit today, but that's okay, right? We can do it. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Thanks to Todd Sandridge with Superior Foundation for hanging out with us today. If you have foundation issues, existing or new, you want to call Superior Foundation. French drains, parking lots, driveways, foundation repairs. I actually got the word right for the first time in 5 years, helicals. But yeah, Superior.ms, Superior Foundation. We are ESPN 1059 The Zone. The Molly Ringwalds were a big hit out at Livingston on Friday night. Over 600 people went to the Livingston Amphitheater, and Todd and the crew bought the town of Livingston. They're going to do even more amazing things to it. And I love what Todd said. Hey, the group that, they had the vision to get it started. We're going to take it. We're glad for the foundation, no pun intended, that they laid. And we're going to take it to another level. And 28 garden homes coming along with several other, shops and businesses and fun things. So you're going to have a market. You're going to have, you got Martin's in Livingston and the Briar Patch and other stuff out there. You're going to have more options at the where 22 and 463 intersect. We're ESPN 1059 The Zone, and lunch today is brought to you by Martin's in Livingston. Blue plates. They're doing the ribs today. They start at like 4 or 5 in the morning smoking the ribs. They only do it one day a week. Fantastic. Ribs is the blue plate today at Martin's in Livingston. Then they got the po' boys and the burgers and all that you can order. Wendy and I went on, hold on. That's not me. Is that Todd?
My man left his phone. I like it.
Oh, here it is.
Nice in his chair. Gotta get my man his phone back.
All right, hey, will you go get that
Yeah,
to Todd?
that's probably him calling it.
Yeah. No, that's his daughter.
Oh no, well, that's even more important.
That's right.
That's right. That's good.
I know. We all know about that. Thanks, Wes.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So, speaking of,
That's funny.
it really is.
That's pretty funny.
We would all like to leave our phone.
No doubt.
When I went to the Masters and didn't have my phone for like 14 hours, it was fantastic.
Did you feel purged? Like, was there a cleansing element to that?
Can I tell you something? Because I'm just as bad as anybody about this thing.
Yeah.
The Masters in Augusta is so amazing and stimulating as far as your mind and the beauty. And
Yeah.
I never thought twice about
Never
it.
thought of it.
Never thought I would say that. Never thought I would say that.
Pretty wild. So, I mean,
But you leave it at your Airbnb.
right.
Well, some people check it. I don't want to do all that. So we just left it at the Airbnb.
So,
The only issue was getting back because you can't call an Uber.
Oh.
So all of us are and I travel. I mean, there's other people who travel a lot, but I mean, I travel a good bit.
Yeah.
And I'm always calling an Uber. I think I'm at almost 400 rides.
Dang. Right.
Okay.
So what do you do?
Or maybe over. But maybe I'll go in the Uber VIP or Plus or
They
something.
need to send you
I
something.
don't know. Anyway, when we walked out, we were some of the last people there because Wilkes was not leaving until
Yeah.
late.
Hey.
We did the same thing at the Phoenix Open Waste Management. We were the last people to leave
No way.
both of those days. There were not many people on the golf course. You know how many people attend that thing when we left both days because he wanted to, and that's great.
Yeah.
Soak it all in. But
Yeah.
when we walked out of Augusta, did I tell you about the pilot taking us back to the Airbnb?
That's what I didn't know how you got back.
So I try to flag a cab
Okay.
because
So they're running
I can't. They do have both.
Okay.
I don't know how that happens
I don't either.
because that's not usually the case in markets anymore. Because I can't call an Uber. I don't have my phone.
Right.
So I tried to flag a cab and somebody else got it as we were getting it.
Weak.
Well, the guy I didn't know there was a guy behind me walking out of Augusta National with us. And he said, "Hey man, I'll give y'all a ride." And this day and age, you don't
Hold on.
ever know. Obviously he's well dressed, good guy. And, we start talking to him and he's like, I'm in aviation. I work at the private airport. And I have for X amount of years. So he had been on Tiger's plane and all these guys that fly in, Justin Thomas and Spieth and all that. And he goes, "I'm parked right over here. I'll take y'all home."
Yeah.
So we talked to him. He's in aviation school I can't remember. It's another town in Georgia that has a specialized college for aviation. And we jumped in his 4Runner. He and Wilkes are about the same age.
Okay.
And they hit it off, and he took us home.
So you're telling me
Yeah.
that in the past, what are we at, like 2 months maybe?
Yeah.
You've taken rides from two strangers because you did it in Hattiesburg too.
Oh, yeah. That got a little weird.
I cannot believe you got in the car. I can't believe that.
What a long, strange trip
Twice.
it's been, my friend.
Twice.
Well, I mean,
I can't believe you didn't hoof it.
Well, when I walked out of the Mississippi State Southern Miss game that Tuesday night 2 months ago, it went from being daylight, to about, I don't remember when I left, the sixth inning, I'm just guessing. And so I told Matt, I said, "Man, I'm heading back. I appreciate it."
Yeah.
And I needed to get back to the hotel and whatever. I was doing the show the next day from Spring Street Cigars in Hattiesburg. And I'm on campus. I take a left. I take a right. I end up at this Shell station or something. It's kind of dicey. By then it's pitch black dark. And it's so dark that walking down 49 as long as I had to, I just wasn't sure about it. So then I couldn't get an Uber. It was 28 minutes. It kept, how it'll bounce you? I couldn't get clicked into an Uber for less than 28 minutes.
Ugh.
And I should have gone the other way. I didn't realize this. I'm not like super, I mean, I know how to get to Crescent City Grill and Ed's and Canebrake and Robert St. John's home, which isn't far from Crescent City.
Right.
Obviously, I know how to get to Southern Miss and Spring Street. My point is, if I would have gone the other way, I'd have been right by Crescent City.
Oh.
I went the opposite way. So I finally got this lady. I was like, "Look, I've got $20. Will you take me to the Holiday Inn Express?" She kind of sat there for a second. I mean, I'm not saying I look great, but I mean,
it could be a lot lower. It could be a lot
I'm
worse.
in like all kind of Peter Millar type gear.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that questionable.
And I'm like, here's the cash.
Please.
I can't get an Uber. See, 28 minutes. And she took me.
How old was this person?
I'm going to guess between 25 and 30 years old.
Okay, is that the sweet spot? Like if you're looking for a ride, it's a 20.
Well, I asked a guy who was in a really, really nice Jeep, Rubicon.
Oh, nice.
He said no.
And that's it, dude.
I asked another guy. He said no. Then this lady was she's talking to the owner of the service station.
Okay.
I go, "Hey, I'm almost like, pat me down.
Yeah, well, please.
Just so you know I'm not like
good.
carrying anything
Right.
other than a phone and a wallet." And so about 2 minutes into the drive, she went, "I wasn't sure about you, but you're good." I was like, why are you okay with me now? I haven't done anything.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm just sitting here.
The
I'm not going to
vibes.
do anything.
The vibe.
I'm just trying to get to the Holiday Inn Express. Then I had buddies hammering me to go to dinner.
Oh, man, yeah.
This is like 8 o'clock. Okay, you're like an hour and a half or so into the game.
Right.
Yeah, and they're hammering me. go to the Maple Bar. And I'm like, hell, I can't even get to the hotel.
Right. I'm gonna try to get there.
Right.
I can't believe that. I can't believe you've taken 2 rides from them in the past 4 months.
That is odd.
It's very odd.
I've been on a little bit of a road trip. Augusta National, Hattiesburg, the coast, Scottsdale, Dallas, or Arlington, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a road trip.
Orange Beach,
Down yonder,
Starkville, going to Oxford Thursday for a double-decker show with Patrick Kelly, Finch and Kelly. It's been a hell of a road tour since St. Lucia, Christmas, all the way through.
Starting Christmas.
Yeah. I feel like I've spent the night in a bunch of Airbnbs and hotels.
You have.
I think I may have a Willie Nelson, Chris Stapleton song in my head after the last 4 months.
That makes sense.
Or maybe 22 years
Yeah.
of travel.
You know how YouTube will send you, like, so if you hit like 100,000 subscribers, YouTube sends you like a little plaque.
Right.
It's in the little icon. Like, I think Uber should send you something.
I think that you know that I don't know how. And since you're our IT guy too, I think that you could pull up my Uber app and find out how many rides I've done. But it was over 300, I think, 2 years ago.
That is incredible. That is a lot of Ubers.
Well, so when you're bouncing around doing remotes and different things and 1-2 day trip, you're trying to get, it's just the way.
All right, let's say hypothetically you're in New Orleans, you're there for a day and a half. What are we talking about, like 3-4 Ubers?
More than that.
More than that.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Well, I mean, if you drive in and then you park, depending on where you stay. I mean, if you're in the warehouse district, you can walk to Merrill or Pesh or something like that, but it could be 6.
A lot of Ubering. You should. I mean, look. I guess you should have called.
Wilt shut me down in Scottsdale. I kept punching Uber, so I'm so at the point in my life where I don't want
the riffraff.
Yeah, no, not the riff. I don't want to deal with any kind of nonsense.
Right.
And finally, Wilkes got frustrated because he could see how much the Uber Black was, and he took over, and we went Uber XL. The rest of the trip.
I don't know what the difference is.
Sometimes there's no difference, and sometimes it's a big difference.
Big time, yeah.
It's kind of like everything in life.
Right. Oh, I just wish I could meet the girl that picked you up down there in Hattiesburg.
She was on the phone the whole time she took me, although she did look over at me and said, "I think you're all right." I was like, what if I wasn't?
Yeah,
like it made no sense to me.
We're
2 minutes into the car ride, and she said, "I'm not worried about you now." Well, I was like, "Well, now I'm in your car.
Now I'm worried about you."
Yeah,
you definitely should have been worried.
Her car was filthy.
I knew it. I was because
it was filthy.
You used to have a thing of Germex with you.
And I kicked that for COVID. I realized how bad putting that garbage on your hands is.
Terrible.
So, and your body needs germs to build up any kind of immunity.
Correct.
And so I don't do, it's really a miracle because Wendy got to a point, there was a 10-year stretch where I would shake somebody, we'd be at a function. I'd shake their hand and take the little bitty bottle of Germex out while I was shaking my head, talking to them, and put it on and she'd be like, "You've got to stop doing that."
And like, I know you don't mean anything by it, and then you don't, but like, it's just the swift motion. It was all one motion. You meet them, and then boom, 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 you've already Germex.
That's right.
I'm like, what in the world just happened? You don't break conversation.
Not at all.
You keep.
That's all I do for my life is talk to people.
That's awesome.
But now I don't use it.
I know. I'm glad.
Yeah. I mean, it's nonsense, just like COVID.
That's right. Build the antibodies. You need them.
So it's funny you said that. You remember that I was a germaphobe or germ whatever.
Germphobe.
Yeah. But yeah, her car was filthy.
I bet.
And I felt like I needed a shower at the Holiday Inn Express.
Right, the 2 guys that said no.
Mm-hmm.
Any ill will?
Not at all.
Not at all, right? Like, hey, I got it.
Dude, I've been a million places and a million different situations.
Right.
And when you travel as much as I have, and again, there's people listening that travel more, but my whole life's been spent on the road. I mean, a lot of my life's been spent on the road.
No doubt.
But if you're going to do a show and do it right,
Gotta go on the road.
and we're in the business of story. Majority of my industry doesn't know that you're in the business of storytelling. You can't tell the stories if you do your show in studio all the time.
There's no stories.
Right. One thing we said in 2003 when we did this is no one would travel more than we will at that time, and no one has traveled more than we have.
Yeah.
And those are where the stories are. It sounds corny. That's fine. But that's where the stories are. It's in my crazy stories about getting out of an airport or an Uber or a lobby or walking in on a tennis player at Tunica National or Gold Strike or wherever the hell I was when I'm doing a show from their tennis facility and scaring the hell out of somebody who can't speak English, who's actually at the tennis tournament where I'm broadcasting from. And had that been a Mississippi boy, I may have gotten shot.
No doubt.
I didn't do it. The front desk gave me that key and that room number.
That's on me.
I didn't check in till 9:30 at night because right when I got there, I gave them my bag because they wanted me, the crew I was with wanted me to meet them at the steakhouse.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This guy, he looked like a Swede tennis player, like super blonde hair, jumps out of the bed.
Yeah.
I scared the
Yeah.
bejesus out of him.
I can't believe he didn't hit you.
He was asleep
That's it.
and he had to play
Oh,
the
my
next
God.
day.
Did he lose?
I felt awful. Oh, you know what? I probably tracked it. Michael
right.
Eisner was in that tournament, believe it
Yeah.
or not, who's made it to the
Big time.
finals of Wimbledon.
Yeah.
It was a $50,000 tournament in 2006. I mean,
That's bread.
that's pretty nice money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did stuff like that
That's
too.
funny.
If I told you, it's lions and tigers and bears when you travel like that. People listening in sales and so on get it. You're in and out of so many Ubers, hotels, restaurants, bars, rooms, situations. Then that doesn't count setting up for the shows
Right. Oh God.
and all the stories I could tell off that,
Right.
and the 4,000 places we broadcast from.
Just the active setting up, like the pure act of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's so much easier today with the Wi-Fi card,
Yes.
and 95% of the time it works. And I do need to do the Starlink. Jake Manning, I'm calling you out, mssmarthomes.com. I need to be able to connect a Starlink to my remote equipment as kind of either a +1 or a backup or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
How many times have someone walked up to that remote table and been like, "What y'all got going on over
that
here?"
it is unbelievable how many Southern guys will come up while you're on the air. What are y'all doing? You know
Every
what?
time.
I just have a headset on and I'm talking just for the hell of it. I'm not even talking to anybody. I just decided to set all this up. You see the props, the helmets, whatever else I bring,
It
the
never fails.
ESPN banner
Yeah.
behind me. Man, I'm just talking to myself
It's not
into
like,
a headset.
It's not like you're sitting there with AirPods.
Right.
Like there's a whole
Yeah.
production.
I mean, how many, when I'm in a hotel, everybody knows this. Business travelers in the morning, the thing to do is to go down to the Marriott breakfast area
Yeah.
and have your earbuds in and be on your laptop and all that.
that's the thing.
And so that's not what I was doing. Like I can tell what somebody's doing. They're either having a business Zoom or something,
Right.
They're bored out of their mind.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just as well as you can tell when someone's probably doing something affiliated with a radio show ish or a podcast or whatever, some kind of streaming is going on.
right.
sitting
You
at
would think.
You're at a table with banners and
The best is when they'll stand right beside you after they say that.
just stand
And I may have 10 more minutes in the segment.
in silence.
And they don't understand personal space,
No.
which is a big deal for me. Like people who talk real close to you, I'm like, what in the hell is going on? You're 1 foot. I don't understand why we
Dude,
have to
they
talk
get-
this close.
They get right in your face.
Yeah. What's happening? I don't know. But that's what makes
That's
all the picadillos that we all have, all the weird. I mean, the fact that we're here and humans and interact every day is the weirdest thing in the world.
It is, yeah,
Totally bizarre.
for a fact.
Okay. Every single minute of every single day is totally bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, how? Why?
Right.
What?
Anyway.
I do have news for you.
Okay, hit me. A.J. Brown is going to the Saints?
AJ, I wish.
I'm just kidding with our listeners.
He's going to the Pats.
Yeah, I know.
June 1.
What else do you have?
Billy D. Step down.
Wow.
6 years. Amid front office reconstruction.
They just signed him to a contract last year, and he missed his window to take the North Carolina job. Of course, he's made $100 million.
Sure, right.
He doesn't have to work tomorrow or 10 years from now. Okay.
Now what?
Billy Donovan is the most underrated coach in the history of college basketball. One.
Period.
You could make a strong argument he's a top 5.
Yes.
Let's see. Patino, Wooden, Krzyzewski, and some others. And then Billy D is not, he's either in there or not far behind, playing for 3 national titles, winning 2 at Florida, not North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky, UCLA.
In how many years?
In a actually pretty short window of time when you think about it.
Yeah.
Don't forget, it took Wooden 17 years to win it.
Right. He's only 60.
He's young. He's 60, looks 50, and works out 4 or 5 days a week. Takes care of himself, just like John Harbaugh.
No doubt.
This is interesting to me.
I mean,
North Carolina's going to go. I know they got the Denver Nuggets guy,
still,
and he looks like he's got a nice to good resume.
Sure,
but
it's Billy Donovan.
It's Billy Donovan.
So I mean,
that I think that's going to sting this morning for the biggest brand in college basketball, the North Carolina Tar Heels.
I think it's sting for Billy, right? Both of them.
Well, but
if he wants to coach,
it does it. Maybe he's going to get paid out.
Yes.
I mean, God knows what that money is.
Man.
And I doubt it's mitigated at the college level. It may be, maybe they did write it in there, the Chicago Bulls in-house counsel or law firm, but I wonder if I could see it being mitigated on another NBA job. Sure. Is it actually going to be if Billy D takes a college job next March or April?
Dang, yeah.
I don't know. He may get to keep the whole loot from the Chicago Bulls.
Dang, I think
and maybe coach again.
Double deal.
And where would he?
Yeah.
Like if Mark Pope gets
bounced
run at Kentucky, does Billy D go to Kentucky where his mentor and like second dad Rick Pitino, had an unbelievable run too?
That's a hot free agent.
Hey, dinner tonight is brought to you by Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance. They're open for lunch, too. I stopped by there yesterday and had the world-famous meatball for lunch. Pair it with a Caesar salad. It's amazing. Absolutely fabulous. They're wood-fired pizzas. TasteItalianKitchen.com. Make your reservation today. Open 7 days a week in the Renaissance.